Start with the sage grouse issue, and our county administrator Richard Egan is going to lead that discussion.
Thank you, Supervisor Wilson. I'm going to introduce our Planning and Building Services Director, Maureen Anderson, who has drafted a memo that's in your packet. It's a memo that actually was drafted back in January regarding the sage grouse issue in Northeastern California. Take it away.
I've been told to be brief, so is there any questions? Thank you, Richard. Maureen Anderson, I'm the Planning and Building Services Director / Planning Director. I have not spent 40 years doing this, but I just want to say right now, it's a round of applause for our president. But that said, as many of you know, BLM is smack dab in the middle of doing a draft environmental impact statement regarding the sage grouse, and it really does impact Lassen County, Modoc County, and others because of a variety of reasons that are listed in the staff report that you have in front of you. We took the time to meet with as many that would participate in the meeting to put a sort of a clearinghouse of concerns together. We had Fish and Game Commission, the Farm Bureau, some of our local utility companies. David Lau was very instrumental in helping get these comments together. He's the livestock advisor for the UC Cooperative Extension. And so I'm not going to go over each concern, but there are many, and they basically center upon local control and the concern that we would be losing that through these kind of policies that not only impact the federal lands, but also private property and economies all over the place. And so, the gist of it is the economic vitality of areas that are impacted by these kind of things, and a plea that we don't lose our control over land use. And so, where this goes is to BLM and Reno, and where it goes after that, I don't know. But they're coming to some sort of resolution, hopefully this September, and that will be important for us because we've actually had a good relationship with BLM in regards to developing other plans having to do with sage grouse, and those plans will probably have to be updated. But we're sort of ahead of the curve in a way in this respect. But this is all really going to be either next try or important based on whether or not 15 the sage grouse is listed. So we'll be looking forward to next year to see what U.S. Fish and Wildlife does with that determination. Current meetings have been suspended. I'm not sure, they're not really in a rush, I guess, because they have it here, but I think a lot of this will turn on what happens next year. So that's my brief staff report. Any questions?
I have a comment.
Yield to the chair for comment.
We went to the meeting with Rock with BLM, and they had determined at that meeting that the sage grouse is affected, but it's the raven that's killing their eggs, not people. And so that should have some kind of an impact with the coordination of each of your counties, that it's not people that are causing the problem. It's not the cows that are causing the problem. It's the raven, which they put on the endangered species list. And I don't know about your county, but our county is overrun with ravens. So that's my comment.
And point taken, and it is included in our comments as a concern in regards to predators being overlooked and some of them being protected as well. So that is mentioned in the staff report and the comments to BLM.
Good. Thank you.
We'll move off the sage grouse now, and the other three items are all Sierra County items to discuss. All yield for you.
Do you guys have any grazing leases that are covered, that are fishing game owners?
There are a few, yes, there are a few wildlife areas that
Have they got those out?
bid out, yes.
Did they get them bid out?
I'm not sure if
We've been
they,
fighting for 15 months now to try to get the two that we've got in Sierra County. We finally just got one out the door the other day. And the other one, the second one, is a very small one, and it still isn't gonna happen, and it looks like it's gonna affect, because it's in conjunction with the Forest Service allotment.
okay.
So he's gonna have to take an audit this year because they won't get the facility.
The ones that I'm aware of are the wildlife area in Willow Creek Valley.
Yeah.
And I believe there's a multi-year lease on that one. And they've discussed some of the waterfowl areas down on Honey Lake in the past. I don't know they've ever gotten to a point of leasing them or bidding.
Well, that's where our frustration's coming with this, and we get just easing our head against the wall. Brian's office is, I call it about every day now. We still get no response.
That's one.
Yeah, and then Mr. Schleston's got some concerns.
There are probably other areas that they've never even considered leases on in our county.
Ours were active leases that, because of the RCD suspension, got dissolved, and then we're supposed to be reinstated.
Well, I just spoke with Catherine. She said she's going to give us a hand with getting a response out of Fish and Game. I have a wildlife area in my district in Sierra County, and it borders a neighborhood, a subdivision that is very concerned about fire danger because of the lack of, well, Fish and Game has never, to my knowledge, done any clearing or fire breaks or any sort of defensible space whatsoever between the neighborhood and their wildlife area. And it borders directly on the neighborhood. So I contacted the regional manager. I did get a phone call asking, one of them asked me some questions about what was going on, what areas I was concerned about. And that staff would be contacting me, and shortly after, about a week later, I got an email from the local biologist, Fish and Game biologist, who said, basically, there's not enough hours in the week. She's busy helping bald eagles and other tasks. She doesn't think that there's any funding to assist with this type of project, and that she might be getting back to me, and I've never heard from her again. I did send an email back asking, is there somebody else I should talk to over there? And I got nothing. So I would like to see some sort of united effort, if possible, by all counties to contact Fish and Wildlife and ask for some sort of response. Maybe a better cooperative effort from them, better response times. Maybe there's somebody there that can help us that we're not talking to, something like that. Something along the lines of what Supervisor Wills was talking about earlier.
One of our issues in Modoc County, because I sat on our fishing, wildlife, and recreation committee, is dealing with them. When you send them a send them a question or send them information, and you want information back from them, they do not respond. Or if you want something on the agenda at the next meeting, you personally better be there to put it on the agenda, because they will not take it over in the mail process. It just sort of gets lost in nowhere land out there. So I've recommended to our committee to make sure that we try to have a representative there, and I've also recommended that they contact each one of your committees that you have, so we can start, and just what I said a minute ago, go as a voice of many instead of a voice of one, and it makes a big difference. Now, I don't know if your other counties have recreation, wildlife, recreation committees or not, but we've had the same problem with them. We do have a good representative in our area that fights for us, and he does as best he can in the given world that he's in. He has no desire to go any higher than he is, so therefore, having said that, he knows he's bucking the system up there for us. So, again, we've got to go to the source and make sure we're getting to the top of the source and work our way down, because it's not working. It's just not working. Our requests are going nowhere. They have their meetings in Ventura, San Diego, San Francisco, and occasionally in Fortuna or Humboldt County, someplace over there. That is not right, because that stuff not affecting them, it's affecting us over here.
Would there be somebody want to handle authoring a letter, or how are we going to do this?
Yeah, I think that's the director forward to this.
I just want to make sure you all know that if you're having an issue getting in touch with the state agency, to please contact our offices, because we can normally get you a response. I mean, it may not be the response that you necessarily want, that I can't guarantee. But I will guarantee that we have what we call legislative liaisons in all of the state agencies, so we can contact on your behalf. And normally, the vast majority of the time, at least get some sort of a response for you. So please do know that we're here to be that service for you.
Thank you very much for reminding everyone.
To take off from that, I've been telling people to no longer just CC the Fish and Wildlife, is to CC everybody in the world, and start with the governor's office first, because I'm the product of the California Highway Patrol, and I know that when it went to the commissioner's office before it got to my office, that I had to listen to what he was going to tell me to do.
And be sure to CC the other 3 counties so we can keep that coordination amongst ourselves, because I think that helps, to back up.
Discussion of working relationships between the county and the Fish and Game. Oh, that you guys, well, I'm gonna put Plumas County. We just had an incident in my area. One of the biologists for Fish and Game walked into our Plumas County Fish and Game Commission, our local agency, and said, oh, by the way, we're going to gill net all the brook trout out of the Gold Lake, a little lake in my district, up in the Bucks Lake Wilderness. And this is to save the yellow-legged frog. Well, and so that just, all the commissioners said, what? You're telling us that now? And they were just appalled. They were angry. They voted unanimously. Yeah, thanks, Terry. To oppose it. They brought it to our board and told us about it. Or no, they called a couple board members, myself and the chairman. And then the newspaper did an editorial and everything. There was an article. So I, asked for a public meeting. I CC'd everybody in the world, like you said. And they are going to come to our next board meeting, the regional supervisor and the project manager, because it rippled through the county where people in Lake Almanor think they're going to, take all the fish out of. Anyway, now the yellow-legged frog is on the endangered species list last week. Our whole county is critical habitat, so we don't know how this is going to impact us. And I'm sure your county is too. And so we got to get together to find out what are the impacts. We know what spotted owl did to everything, but is it going to stop all activity of anyway, when your whole county is critical habitat, that's sort of scary. Anyway.
Is that the local biologist?
usually women.
Amber, not, there's two Ambers, Rossi.
Yeah, because that would explain why she couldn't get back to me, because she was busy on the
But, I mean, that's what we're seeing it every animal, I mean, it's just amazing, like that, I mean, they didn't even tell the county. And they
Yeah, we didn't tell
completely defish a lake.
They did, and how they did it.
Yeah, it's just.
Electricity in all, you know, and all the other
And
animals.
they've committed that the frog has the what do you call it? The disease that the frogs have.
It's a fungus.
The fungus is there, so they're removing the fish.
Well, it goes beyond the frogs and all that too, and I think we have to also be mindful that we're sitting ducks in terms of the environment we're in. Not too many years ago, when they decided to extend 395 around Carson City, and they got the freeway now kind of punched around through there, that wound up wiping out the prime habitat for the wandering skipper. And they started looking around the region to other areas, and out there by Sierra Army Depot, there's a couple little spots there, but because it's in our county and it was within 25 miles of the road project that we had going on here in town, this kind of northeast bypass, and we had delayed that project by 3 years, probably cost the project in excess of a couple $1 million extra, as we had to go through a whole bunch of extra layers of environmental review because of a road project that took place 130 miles away from us, because they literally blacktopped right over the top of the prime wandering skipper habitat. So the few little spots around, they could, resurrect to be able to justify. That's kind of what it happens. I mean, so whether it's a red-legged frog or it's a wandering skipper or whatever it may be, the species that it loves, those kind of things happen all the time.
But when they shut down the dredging, our mining industry in our county, this board and our board, wrote letters, come up, have a public meeting. We're the largest mining people in the counties, and they wouldn't come up there.
Well, I would like to commit, that's why Mr. Adams is not here today, he's testifying on behalf of 1272.
Can't you coordinate that? I mean, our coordination, the way I understand coordination, is if they have not brought it to the table before they do it, like putting the yellow-legged frog.
Loomis County's gonna find out, but,
Yeah.
I mean, they told them too bad, so sad, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I've been told that with the proper coordination council, that with proper
There's this meeting in 2
coordination
days, so we'll
in
find out.
effect,
It's next week.
The coordinating council meeting
Oh,
Thursday,
you can fight that.
You got the money?
No, but contact Fred
There
Kelly
lies the
Grant.
issue.
Yeah, it might go to litigation, but, Fred Kelly Grant is doing those things for people without charge. So, I mean, he charges, but I'm not sure how he charges. But it's so that you can get things taken care of through litigation. And it might come to that, because if it closes down your whole entire county, that's really ridiculous.
Having an economic impact.
We made those replies as a county to the NEPA, and they listed it anyway.
Yeah, well, they're doing that with the sage grouse too, even though it doesn't, yellow-legged frog is killed by a fungus, and the sage grouse is going down because of the ravens, so,
This is, I'm sure most of you have heard about this, but if you haven't, you should Google it. It's all part of the United Nations Agenda 21. This endangered species is part of that wildlands project where they want to get people out of the rural counties, and then they want predators roaming around here. One of the things it said, invent a spotted owl shortage, and pretend it can't live in a forest where timber is cut, and that forces there's no timber, forces the mills to go out of business, and that closes down. And they mentioned mining, like create national park areas and different areas where you can't do mining, and that forces the mines out of it. It's all part of that, so you should probably, the American Policy Center has a book on that, and it's called Agenda 21, you know, what's below the tip of that iceberg, and it tells you what they said. And like, the federal agencies are working on one thing, but then their local branches, that ICLEI, I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure you guys all know. And that's how they're implementing it through the counties. But anyway, it's worth checking into. It was President George H.W. Bush was the signatory on that in Rio in 1992. And Congress took one look at it and didn't ratify it because it was so horrible. It's giving away your sovereignty, and the smart growth, the high-speed rail, the sustainable development, all that's part of that Agenda 21. But Bill Clinton started implementing it. And then I went to a meeting up in Alturas a couple of years ago, and there was an attorney that specializes in this that came down to speak. And she mentioned there's 600 species on the endangered species list that aren't even in the United States. And she went into a whole lot of detail, but you might Google United Nations and then search for Agenda 21, because this is all the travel management plan.
Yeah, we've been highly educated on it.
It's not a new concept. It's been out there.
I'm sure you are. You just have to fight them. You used to go down and fight it without fighting.
Oh, there was status under the taxes owed to health. Yeah. Want us to address that status?
I think you, all counties signed off on that letter, and I think Ryan's really pushing forward.
I think that in the wildlife area and the land over in our area is, we're looking at like between 600,000 and 700,000, I think, back over the building. So it's quite a bit. Yeah, we'd actually bring our budget back.
So is our budget if we can get one.
You could add interest and penalties.
Oh, like they would do to us.
Okay.
The issue with Pelton is that we need to make sure that we get it every year, and not just because they decided they better give it to us. The issue with it is to stand firm and demand it every year, because we're 75, 76% government lands here and state lands, and we just refuse to pay it. It's the same thing with the Fish and Wildlife funds and things like that. Refuse to pay it, but we just have to be, again, united in regards to that, and make sure that our voice is heard someplace.
Isn't that for Senator Munis's bill?
Of course, Munis's bill. But just because it's part of it, doesn't mean it's always going to happen.
Even if the bill gets passed, then you're going to get it appropriated in the budget, so.
Right.
And it has to support
Yeah,
the
but
government.
we're-
It's got to be a blue pencil, so. Don't spend the money until you have it firmly in your hand.
It's sort of like don't send the tax, property tax money each year until you get your money back.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to number 9, Lassen Regional Solid Waste Management Authority.
Good afternoon, Quad Counties. My name is Tom Valentino. I'm the contract general manager of the Lassen Regional Solid Waste Management Authority. We're a JVA between the city of Susanville and the county of Lassen, formed in 1998. And just want to talk about briefly here some issues that I think affect each of the Quad counties. And to focus on 3 things. A little bit of a variation of the theme, just talking trash here, not water, and other issues. But regulatory issues, fees, and some of the economics of managing solid waste in this area, and some sort of big challenges. On the regulatory front, we've had just an increase in regulations. Most of them pertain to diversion from landfills. The state of California believes it's in the best interest of everybody to divert our solid waste from landfills and transfer stations. And the recycling, and it does sound good on paper. Unfortunately, it's a really expensive proposition in areas like Northeast California. So we've got new regulations now for mandatory commercial recycling that really impacts the waste we get at facilities. There's, West Chevrolet has another bill out now. He was offered the mandatory commercial recycling, one on organics diversion. It's going to cause some pain and suffering in a lot of counties. And the 75% goal on recycling will soon become a mandate. I'm convinced of that. So we've got increasing pressure by Cal Recycle to go to the zero waste model. The unfortunate part about that is that a lot of our structure, our infrastructure has been financed and operations continue to be financed through those tipping fees. So as they divert the waste away from that, we lose those fees. And we've had a dramatic reduction in revenue over the past few years, and I imagine each of the other counties have too. One of the interesting things about organics, we work closely with the Regional Council of Rural Counties. We have a good working relationship with them on trying to, if we can't stop the regulations from happening, at least mitigate them a little bit. We're working right now with them on this organics bill, because as was explained to me just today, as a matter of fact, if we don't stop this one, or modify this one organics bill, if we stop or is not implemented, California Resources Board will implement a bill under AB 32, and they're doing a lot with that. The last is the State Water Resources Control Board, and their stormwater regulations are going to be very expensive to implement, not just for solid waste, but also your public works departments. They're going to be experiencing that. So those are some of the things that we've been experiencing. Fees, I was enjoying Mr. Beal's talk on the water master fees. Each of the counties here pay for waste discharge requirements fee, in addition to the garbage tax fee of $1.40 a ton for those jurisdictions. And right now it's just Sierra and Lassen where we dispose of our own waste, solid waste in the county. Modoc and Plumas will export to Nevada. You're exempt from those fees right now. They're pushing to change those. Cal Recycle's finally figured out in this push for waste diversion, their $1.40 a ton is going, the amount of money that they're getting is going down. So their response to this is, well, we better increase fees. We can't cut back our agency's work. Water Resources Board has their state water fees for waste discharge requirements. They've gone dramatically over the past 7 years, or several years rather. And what we did late last year is we looked at these fees because there's a disparate impact on how these fees are assessed to small rural counties versus our large urban counties. For example, in Plymouth County, you paid over $63,000 in fees. And these are just new fees in the last several years here. Looking at a price per ton, it's $3.87 a ton you're paying. And last it's $5.63. We paid over $101,000 in our fees. $5.63 a ton. Modoc, we broke $10 a ton. We were $10.19 for every ton of garbage you produce. That's what goes into this waste discharge requirements fees. In Sierra, unfortunately, you're leading the pack in the state at $15.41 a ton. But you only have 2,100 tons a year at your disposal. So we've been working with RCRC to try to get these mitigated and based on a jurisdiction's ability to pay. In Los Angeles County, they pay 7 cents a ton. It just is really hard to fathom this. We have to take on this much burden. And our urban counterparts virtually pay nothing for it. This has a real direct impact on our operating budgets for solid waste. Sacramento County has 22 cents, so it really doesn't bother them coming this out of Sacramento that these fees get imposed. We have been working with Assemblyman Valley's office and RCRC. We just have not gotten a lot of traction on it. I think any legislative solution to this would be very difficult. We just get on with it. So we're going to have to bear them. But the message that we want to impart today is to need to keep the pressure on that we at least have some recognition in our new regulations that go in and new fee structures. There's some consideration for rural jurisdictions' ability to pay. That's been the toughest part of us, the things that we've got to deal with. And then the economics, again, the zero waste, calorie cycle, well, just raise your fees. You know, have is if you keep raising fees, people will start opting out. And then you end up with more illegal dumping, more blight. And that's the last thing we want. Certainly the last thing we want here in Lassen. I think all the counties up there are trying to attract more tourists. We need to keep our areas beautiful. So that's been a